You are now listening to the EPND podcast on the Extraordinary People Next Door network.
All right, the way we typically used to do our podcast when it started out, we like come to your door and knock on it, but we already outside. So
we're gonna do Extraordinary People Next Door, Extraordinary People on the Block edition.
Block edition.
Because we out here on the block. Brother Hamza has us out here, you know, in the field, in the mud where the people are, man. Alhamdulillah. And this just really is indicative of the rapport that the brother has with the community. And that's really what we all about. You know, and that really is the essence of Extraordinary People Next Door, you know, just tapping into our community and the greatness in our community. And that's beautiful that this brother has us established out here on the north side. Even though the brother's worldwide, international, he could probably do this in anywhere USA, any hood USA, you know. So
straight up, it's a big honor and a pleasure for us to introduce to this this episode our guest. He's one of my all-time favorite teachers, one of the most amazing communicators I've ever met, somebody who brings so many different elements with his teaching, from spirituality to African history to linguistics to parenthood, fatherhood, just basically being a man and somebody who gives back. And so I'm sure there's mad fans out there. So when I say the name Humza Perez, all the fans that already know him, you know what I'm saying? Salute to y'all. And we want to introduce the brother and let him kind of introduce him to the world of people who might not know him. So peace. What up, Hamza? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam. Mashallah. Thank you for having me. May Allah bless you. Welcome to my block here, inshallah.
Thank you. We honored to be out here, man. This is a beautiful thing, you know.
Inshallah. I think it's important, man, when we here that we be with the people.
Yes.
Sometimes some of the worst people could be people connected to religion.
Come on, teach, brother.
They disconnected to the people on the ground. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
There's literally my building here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, welcome. You know.
So you step out to it every day, huh?
Every day. It's all good though, man.
That's a blessing.
It's all love.
That's a blessing.
The people from the streets, there's so much masks that people wear online, you know, whether it be on the pulpit, whether it be on the microphone. But there's one thing for sure: the people from the streets, they know when you're fronting.
That's right.
And so that's why I like to stay out in the streets, man. It keeps you grounded, you know.
Word up. Tell us a little bit about the block that we on right here.
Well, we on the corner of Federal and Hemlock on the north side. You know what I'm saying? And mashallah, you know, this, you know, we have...
Shout out to Aiden Market.
Aiden Market.
It's
right
jumping
here,
over here.
Bodega, the Yemeni bodega next door. So I get my free Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying? I got the Wi-Fi plugging in, non-stop streaming.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but this is basically the block, man. Historical block here on the north side, man. Really good people, really beautiful people here, man. You know what I'm saying? So
we've got the mosque right around the corner.
Yeah.
Right behind us, one block this way.
Right around the corner is Lot of the Age Mosque, Sankoy Institute of Islamic African Studies Library. You know what I'm saying? Right here in the hood.
How long have y'all been over there since you brought the masjid up? How long has the masjid been over here?
Yeah, we moved there we have first established it 2004.
Okay.
2005-ish, actually. But we were down the block. We were down more by Spring Garden.
I remember that. And that was 04?
Yeah, like 04 and 04. And then 2006 we moved here.
Okay.
And so we've been here now 14 years.
Alhamdulillah.
14 years.
You know, it's beautiful to see the different Islamic centers in the city. You know, Islamic Center in Oakland, and that's, you know, a diverse community. The brothers over here, y'all holding down the north side, the East End, you know, Paulson,
Movement.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the brothers and sisters Al-Noor in Wilkinsburg, and then Muhammad Mosque, which I'm a member of the community in Wilkinsburg, and then the other the brothers and sisters from the Ahmadiyya movement, that they're also in Wilkinsburg, you know. Then also Monroeville.
Yeah.
That's I'm less familiar with them. They're mainly from Pakistan.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's another one in the North Hills, I believe.
There's one in
Carnegie.
Carnegie.
Okay.
Yup.
The Hill District.
Oh, the Hill.
Yeah,
Can't forget the Hill.
Carnegie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the
alhamdulillah.
Hill, man.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
mean, I think what's important is the historical significance of the black masjid. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that's dying out. Right now in New York City, there's over 100 masjids. There's only about 10 black masjids run by African Americans. That's what I mean when I mean black. This is something that's dying throughout the country, man. Because they say Islam is the fastest growing religion in America, but it's also the fastest disappearing with our youth. You know what I'm saying? To make that transition to the next generation is very difficult.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the importance of reviving the indigenous masjids, you know, is extremely important for our people. You know.
Yeah, and that even like brings us back to like why we out here, because historically in the black community, the mosque was where the people needed it most.
No
You know what I'm
doubt.
saying? And out in the street, you know what I'm saying? And that's really like where the real work is, you know. And Islam and the Ummah has to make sure that they don't lose touch with that and become bougie Muslims.
No
You know what I'm
doubt,
saying?
no
Where they
doubt.
scared to like get out there and mix
Straight
it up
up.
with the people, because that's where Islam is still needed, you know. And that really kind of the whole y'all are more scholarly than I am, but in the surah he frowned, you know, where the blind man was tapping up onto Muhammad, peace be upon him, and he was teaching the learned, you know, and he frowned when the blind man tapped up on him, and then Allah talked about, break it down for me, come on now.
Well, this is interesting because this ayat, the scholars say it wasn't actually the prophet that's
Okay.
frowned.
Okay, okay.
Sallallahu and so you know, because the prophet, peace be upon him, he asked to be resurrected with the poor.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? So
that's the essence of what I was.
yeah. So if you look at the prophet, peace be upon him, he was always with the poor.
Alhamdulillah.
And so he was so concerned with all kind of people.
Right.
People of the elite and people with the poor.
Right.
And so you will see him addressing on all kind of levels.
Right,
But
right,
that particular ayat, a lot of scholars say that actually wasn't the prophet who frowned, but the person who was talking to.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Yeah. But the whole idea is the masses that people would frown on. You know what I'm saying?
doubt,
the
no doubt.
disenfranchised, the people who need it most. That's where we supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
And this is the issue, that
Go ahead.
the juice card that was established by the nation, the old Dar es Salaam movement, that juice in the streets is dying out.
Yeah.
Because we're not present.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The work that was put in back in the days, a lot of the youngsters don't know about that.
That's true. That's true.
So we have to establish our own stuff
true.
on the streets. If
That's
not, because Islam is really the religion of hip hop. You
That's
know
true.
what I'm saying? They
Okay.
No, straight up and down.
Go ahead.
Like if you leave a gang for Islam, there's no sucker stuff in that.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? Even if you look at
It's respected. That's
yeah,
respected.
like Latin Kings, they allow it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They respect. Nobody looks at that as a sucker move.
Right. I feel like you tapping into some
Man,
of your
we getting
history
deep,
now.
man. We getting deep.
Can we go back? Can we segue like back to your roots?
Okay.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Okay, so my family, you know, for the most part, they're from Santurce, Puerto Rico. Later on, my grandmother moved to Loíza, Puerto Rico.
Okay. Can I pause real quick?
Yeah.
I beg. We got a guest here.
Yeah, my bad.
Straight up,
didn't
straight up,
introduce-
man.
My man,
All us
Snack
shit's
tripping.
Big Hajj Ibrahim Snow. Say a little something, man.
Cool.
Listen, okay, so I'm coming from the the complete other side of the street. Although I'm in the street.
Yes, sir.
I'm on the street.
Yes, sir.
But I didn't come from the street.
Yes,
you know?
sir.
So,
But-
but you know, I moved here just like Hamza moved here, so that we could be here in the neighborhood, put it in work, and addressing the needs of the people on the ground. That's what we're here. We're here to serve.
And really, that's the beauty of Islam, that all backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So let me just
Go
jump.
ahead.
Can I just jump in?
yes, sir. Please.
Yeah.
So
we said hip hop.
part of the story is this. Part of the story is this. there was a documentary put out by PBS. It's called New Muslim Cool that featured this community right here, Brother Hamza, and the work of this community right here. So we're gonna be referencing that. We're gonna jump back to that, but we wanna for those fans that don't know about that, we're gonna touch and go into that.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes,
so
yes,
yeah.
yes. So you was going into your
Yes, my family from Puerto Rico, east side of the island, Santurce, Loíza, Canova, in our area. Then they moved to Brooklyn, and so that's where my family kind of started growing up. My parents, my mom's side, and they were kind of involved in the street elements in a gang in Brooklyn called the Turban Saints. And then stuff happened with my family, so they started trying to find other places to live for a better life.
Okay.
And they moved to Massachusetts.
Okay.
And so then I moved from Brooklyn. I actually moved to Puerto Rico. Then from Puerto Rico, I moved to Massachusetts.
So you moved from Brooklyn to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
How old were you, Brother Hamza?
I was about maybe 8 years old, 9 years old.
Alhamdulillah.
And then every time I got in trouble with the law in Massachusetts, my family sent me to go hide in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
And so I spent some of my high school and junior high in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
Until I became Muslim in Massachusetts.
Can you talk about Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I mean Puerto Rico, man. It's right now, man. When I lived in Puerto Rico, it was beautiful, man. We bought from ourselves, we sold to ourselves. Now Walmart and all these major corporations have strangled the island. You know what I'm saying? We don't buy nothing hardly from each other no more. You know what I'm saying? And so the island is hurt pretty bad, man. It's a pretty sad situation,
Wow. So you said you bounced back and forth between Puerto Rico and Mass.
Yeah. I mean, every time I caught like a case, I'm about to get locked up, my family goes send me to hide in Puerto Rico. Or in the 6th grade, I passed the 6th grade with 4 Fs. My teacher wrote a letter to my mom. I took that letter and I rolled a huge catnip joint out of it and smoked that joint in my bathroom. I lived in these projects called Plumbing Village Projects. I live in the high rise. So I said, man, I'm going to show this teacher what I think about her letter. And I rolled a huge fat Cheech and Chong joint out of her letter and smoked that
In the
joint.
6th grade?
Yeah, 6th grade. My mom was at work, so I thought I could get away with it. It was just something between me and the teacher. Nobody know. I'm just gonna smoke a letter. And my mom just happened to come home from work, man, kicked down that door like a ninja, smacked me up, man, and just she said, man, this dude's doing too much, man. He only 12 years old, rolling huge joints. They
sent you out to Puerto Rico. Yo, my man, Joyner Lucas is from Worcester, man. What's Worcester like for people who don't know? You know what I mean? Sleeping on Massachusetts, like what's that like?
I used to run a program called YouthNet, and I was assigned the South Side. I was the leader of the South Side. And Joyner Lucas used to be part of the program.
Wow.
His father's name is Gary Lucas.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? His
Wow.
father's the MC,
Okay.
Gary Lucas.
Okay,
You know what I'm
okay.
saying? So Worcester is known for MCs, man. You know what I'm saying? Other MCs came out of Worcester as well. It's like 40 minutes outside of Boston.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Where he definitely made his impact on hip hop. He put Worcester on the map.
No doubt.
Where so Mom Dukes, then you smoking catnip, roll the teacher's note and roll some catnip and smoke the teacher's note.
Man,
Mom
Wasn't no
Dukes,
K2 back then.
Nah, man.
She didn't get the-
catnip out the pet shop. My man Eggy Vega stole it, man.
she ain't get the chancleta. She went for another level.
Nah, my mom just hit me with whatever's next to her, man. Karate chops, whatever,
So boom, did she send you to Puerto Rico?
She sent me to Puerto Rico, man. It was the best time of my life. Because when I got there, Hurricane Hugo hit. And we didn't have electricity for 2 months or water for a month and a half.
Wow.
So school got canceled as soon as I got there.
Wow.
And I live in the beach area.
That was a win-win, huh?
It was win-win. So we were celebrating, man, going to the beach. And I lived and it's called Loíza Aldea. It's the Afro center of Puerto Rico.
Wow.
Where all the black Puerto Ricans are from.
Wow.
So, man, I was having a ball.
Culture was lit.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nice.
Wow. Now, you mentioned the history of like the Latin Kings briefly. Was that a part of it? Like I know that you hear about the Latin Kings, not too much in this area, but on the East Coast, heavy, correct?
Yeah. So they're originally from Chicago.
Okay.
I was never part of Latin Kings. Some of my family, the brother who I took Shahada with was a Latin King. You know what I'm saying?
Alhamdulillah.
I took Shahada with an old sheikh named Sheikh Imran, but it was a Latin King partner of mine, Lukman G. John, who brought the sheikh to me. You know what I'm saying? So, I used to not really like gangs because gangs made the block hot.
Okay.
You come
okay,
on the block
okay.
with colors and beads. You know
okay.
what I'm saying? So I used to not like that.
You
stuff.
was low before they called it low.
So what was your lifestyle like before you even found Islam?
I mean, I was just into hustling, man. I was into hustling, but I always had some consciousness. I studied 120 lessons.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Even though I was on the block, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I always had this, I always had this understanding that there was something more to life.
Now, for those who might not be familiar, can you just touch on what's 120?
Yeah. So 120 lessons is the lessons from the 5% nation.
Yes, sir.
Also known as Nation
It's
of
a
Gods and Earth.
Yes, sir.
It consists of supreme mathematics, supreme alphabet, the 1 through 40. You know
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
so, even though I was on the block, I wanted something else. Like,
Right.
to me, anybody who's really from the streets, they eventually want to get out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was making moves from Massachusetts to New York with people who would study the lessons.
Right.
Yo, you think it was a different time, a different era like that was built into the hip hop culture and the street culture at the time? Do you think that's diminished some? Like you talked about how we seeing Islam and Deen maybe dying in some of our young people, you know what I mean? Like, do you feel like that whole sentiment of having knowledge and elevating is in the culture as much?
Here's the thing, is that it was more, you had to get it from somebody.
Right.
Like, you're going to get your hands on a 120.
Right. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you can't
took that-
download that, man.
Right,
Back in the
right,
day.
They took that serious back in the
Yeah.
day. And from what I heard in the East Coast, if you was repping it, but they would stop you and ask you a question, they would violate you
Yo,
behind
man,
that.
we did a show in Roxbury, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And we
Shout out to
dropped
Shout out to
Roxbury.
Ed OG.
Yeah,
no doubt.
that's where I'm from.
And so it was in Mattapan, I think. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Mattapan, that's another section,
And
but yeah.
so we said some stuff about the lessons. They checked us right on stage.
Wow.
Once we broke down the math,
Wow.
the whole crowd went crazy.
Wow.
But this is how I came across them. I was on the block hustling, and I found a dog tag with my old address. But on the dog tag, it said Knowledge Supreme.
What? Had your
And I-
address, your
I-
home
I had
address
my
on it.
old address.
Wow.
Where I used to hustle.
Wow.
So I went and brought the dog tags there, and this brother named Justice lived there.
Wow.
And he the one that broke us off with the lessons. Man.
Wow, that's powerful.
And so that's how.
Dang, so if you never came across that dog tag, then
back in the days, that's how you got to get it from somebody who
Word.
connected.
That's true.
Now everybody want to download whatever.
Right.
But you gonna be about something. Even the streets had their own lessons.
Right.
Latin Kings got their manifesto written by Jeff Ford.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even the street coaches had their own lessons.
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir.
straight
now,
up.
Now, can you talk about some of the hip hop that you were listening to? Like who influenced
Okay, so
you?
here's the thing.
Okay.
I know y'all might have asked this question. So my favorite MC is
Okay.
different from my favorite album.
Okay.
My favorite MC is Guru from Gangstar.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
Leave him alone.
Boston representative.
Boston representative,
You know what
man.
I'm saying?
Come on, man.
That's my favorite MC.
Shout out to-
my favorite album is Raekwon Built for Cuban Links.
Only built.
Purple
Yeah, purple tape.
Hey, bro, I can't argue with either one of those, bro. Shout out to the Purple Tape, man.
I tell you why, because the Purple Tape was talking about what I was living like at
Right.
the age of 16.
Right.
I was hustling hard. I was doing a lot of street elements.
And you was deep, and it wasn't like no weed. We
Now,
talking about.
Yeah, what happened was when I was 15 years old, I was on the run from the cops. Okay, they sent me back to Puerto Rico. My friends in Puerto Rico were smoking weed mixed with heroin, and so I didn't know what I was smoking. And then they put me on to start sniffing. So then when I came back to Massachusetts, they had to kick. My family in Puerto Rico had to get me out of Puerto Rico. I was getting too wild in Puerto Rico.
Dang.
So they would bounce me back and forth. When I got back to the projects in Massachusetts, it was on and cracking, man. My whole crew, 14, 13, 15, 16-year-olds, sniffing, hustling, crack, you know what I'm saying? Started getting to different type of elements.
Y'all was wild. It was a lot. Was it violence going on?
It wasn't violence, man.
Okay.
It wasn't
Y'all was
violence.
keeping their peace to get the bread
in
and.
the projects, we all amongst each other, we grew up with each other, so it wasn't violence.
Okay.
Our area wasn't really violent.
It wasn't
can
too
you
much.
put a circa year around it?
We're talking about 92, 93
Okay.
to 90 to 97.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
alhamdulillah.
98.
Yep.
Yeah.
So LA riots is happening. We got the
Oh,
Rodney
yeah,
King
man.
and
Oh, yeah.
OJ.
When Rodney King riot happened, my projects went and raided this sneaker store called Kangaroo Crossing.
Wow.
Every day, next day, everybody had Harachis on, man. Then the Puerto Ricans who came straight from the island, they didn't know what was going on around the King. They tried to rob a sneaker store across the street and
Got
they all
locked
got
up.
arrested. They didn't know it was connected to Rodney King. You know what I'm saying? They just thought the projects was wilding out, robbing all the sneaker stores.
Wow.
Dang.
Wow.
So
Yeah, that was powerful. You know, that time was full, man.
No
you
doubt.
know, OJ and the riots, and you know, it was just the Central Park 5 was in the news.
The Abner
I tell
Louima,
you what set it
Diallo.
off. Do the right thing, set it off.
Do the right thing. Yeah, yeah.
Isn't that
film had a
crazy?
big
Yep,
impact
yep,
on
yep.
us, man.
Isn't that crazy that?
Yeah. And I
Man.
was just watching the Yusef Salam. I mean, not the Yusuf Hawkins,
Yusuf Hawkins,
documentary
yeah.
on
Bensonhurst,
HBO.
Brooklyn.
Yeah. That all of that was like '89. You know, yeah.
No doubt. Bensonhurst was known for being like a racist Italian area
Right.
in Brooklyn back in the days.
Wow.
And did you experience racism up in Worcester? Like,
Oh, of
you
course. Man, I remember when I first moved to Massachusetts, I wanted, you know, I was born on Valentine's Day, so I always thought I had to be this big lover. So, you know, the closest thing to me was this little white girl, you know what I'm saying, that she went to my school. So I said, okay, there was two girls that I liked. I liked this Jamaican girl, but I was too scared to talk to her. And that there was this white girl, right? And so I was like, man, I'm living in Massachusetts now, man. Maybe I might need a white girl, right? So I tried to talk to her, man. And I'm in the fourth grade, man. Fourth, fifth grade. And her father chased me away.
Wow.
And I started building something in me, you know, what I was like experiencing, you know, at school and stuff like that. But there was definitely, Massachusetts, man, it can be a real racist area.
Wow.
and you always had love with black people. You always felt connected and
Always, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, my great grandmother, if I show you a picture, man, you know, she jet black. You know what I'm saying? With Alvida. And so, you know, it's if you look at Puerto Rican culture, we sing about it. We have singers like Ismael Rivera. He sings about beautiful black skin. If you look at the historical struggles of the Black Panthers with the Young Lords, the Black Liberation Army with the FALN, you know what I'm saying? The birth of hip hop always had blacks and Puerto Ricans
Right.
side by side.
Yes, sir.
so you wilding, you come back to the projects out in Worcester, and it's on and cracking, and then how does this transformation, or what's going on?
So what happened was, man, we hustled so much. We wasn't like, you know, on Tony Montana status. We were still on the block, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
High level blocks.
Yes,
status.
sir.
But man, none of it quenched my thirst, man. None of it quenched my thirst. I would see the phoniness in it. I was still not happy. You know what I'm saying? I was still searching for something. I would roll up weed and go smoke it on the steps of the church. And just be like, man, what you doing with me, God? You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't feeling it. I was really impacted by the nation. So I told this brother, his name is Robert Anderson, right? In the projects, we call him Brother Lump. He would play Malcolm and Farrakhan speeches. He would put his speaker in the window. So when I did so much dirt, man, I reached out to Brother Lump. You know, he's in Massachusetts still. He go. I forgot the name of the mosque in Roxbury. There's a mosque there. What number it is?
15.
Okay, I'm not sure the number, but I said, man, Brother Lump, man, ready
It-
changed.
Muhammad Mosque is the nation's
I'm
mosque.
talking about the nation's
I
mosque.
believe it's
I
15.
think that's right in
It's in Roxbury.
Yeah,
right in Grove Hall.
And so I told the man, yo, Brother Lump, man.
Brother's gonna get me. I should know that. Like, but I believe it's 15.
Okay. I told Brother Lump still operating in Massachusetts. I said, man, Brother Lump, man, take me to the mosque, man.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And first mosque I went to was in Roxbury. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying? And then what happened is my main man who I was in the streets with, he ended up becoming Sunni. And then, man, he basically rescued me right off the block. I took my shahada right on the street, man, while I was smoking a blunt, drinking a deuce of Heineken. I saw my friend Lukman coming with the old sheikh, and out of respect, I passed the blunt to my people. They were right behind me, rolling some dice. I gave him the deuce of Heineken. I knew I was going to change.
So the sheikh it was your man's, a young dude who converted to Islam.
Yeah,
And-
his name was Lukman Jija, man. He brought this old sheikh that would never be on the block.
Wow.
Old Pakistani, man. Brought him to the block.
With a big
Wow.
beard and everything, just
Big beard, Shawal Kamis. Man, he just told me, he asked me 2 questions. They said, this is Brother Hamza. He got straight to the point. He said, man, you believe there's only one God? I said, yes. He said, you believe Prophet Muhammad is the messenger of God? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I said, yes. He said, take my hand. I took my shahada right there on the street. I was
Alhamdulillah.
literally in the street. brought me to the mosque, had me make wudu. My first salat was a 20 rakat tarawih. It was in Ramadan.
Hold on,
Wow.
hold on.
Smelling like weed and Heineken, man.
Yo.
I was like, man, yo, this religion no joke. I was like in the cool, looking sideways, like, man.
Yo,
Wow.
the Tarawih prayer that Brother Hamza just mentioned, that's only exclusively done during the month of Ramadan, and
Wow.
it's 20 units. It's 20
Man,
prayer
that thing is
units.
hours long.
Yes.
That was your first joint, huh?
My
Yeah.
first prayer, man.
They recite 1/30 of the Quran.
Man, they just pushed me in there, man. I was smelling like Heineken and everything, man. But, man, you know, later on, this was interesting. I saw the family who did that to me. I
Wow.
saw them in Seattle. I said, man, y'all just threw me in there like that? He said something amazing. He said, those that get it hard, take it hard.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
How did you run into him in Seattle?
Because I was traveling, right? And then we stopped to eat at a restaurant. And the owner of the restaurant said, I have to turn off all the TVs because the person that's coming never saw a TV in his life. His name is Sheikh Hassan, the son of the Sheikh who gave me Shahada.
Wow.
And I remember he never saw a TV and I was tripping. And when he came in, it was his son, man.
All the way
That
from,
was the
from,
son.
Yeah.
The son of the dude who gave you the shake.
The son of the person who gave me Shahada never watched a TV in his
on the
life.
opposite end of the country. You saw the same brother
Yeah.
that gave you
Ex-
Shahada
exactly.
in
Yeah.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Just randomly.
Just randomly.
But that also speaks to what we were talking about the brothers and sisters would go wherever they had to go. They came
doubt.
to the block to get you.
No
You know what I'm
doubt.
saying?
No
And was that his element? It didn't matter.
I mean, this Sheikh wasn't his element. He was like, yeah, it was like Tabligh Jamaat. But what it was is, my man, I went to go buy 2 Dutch masters.
Okay.
Right? A couple of days before. My man was listening to the Quran, and to me, it was the most beautiful thing I ever heard. I said, man, I got to smoke some weed to this. I ejected the cassette and put it in my pocket. I just took the tape from him. But he saw how I was impacted by the Quran. But I also looked at him, because I grew up with him since I was a kid. Lukman Jijan, right? May Allah bless him. And I saw, man, man, he finally, man, he looks happy, man.
That's what's up.
And here I am, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And I knew it was Islam that did it.
It wasn't the block. It wasn't the hustling. It wasn't.
You wanted
the
whatever
clothes.
he had, huh?
Straight up and down.
Alhamdulillah,
I wanted the
man.
high that he had, man.
Alhamdulillah.
He had it without.
That's beautiful.
And
brother.
you said the Sheikh said, if those who get it hard, take it hard. Break that knowledge down
It's
for us.
beautiful. If you look historically at scholarship in Islam,
Yes, sir.
right? The places where Islam entered with military, they produce amazing scholars. The places where Islam went through to business, they have some scholars, but they're not known for major works of knowledge.
That's
Example,
powerful.
West Africa and Egypt. The difference between Indonesia and Malaysia. Islam came to Indonesia and Malaysia through puppet shows. Businessmen who did puppet shows. But in the continent of West Africa, the companions of the Prophet came into Africa because they've been seeking refuge in Africa from before Islam set off in Medina. And so those people took Islam hard, and they produced the greatest scholars in the world. You know what I'm saying? And
But
so-
when you say, because I want to let's just elaborate on that, because a lot of people think that Islam spread in Africa through the sword, and you talk about
that's
military,
false, man.
but
That's
break
false.
that down, because you know what I mean. You kind of just did say something about a military.
No, because you had Muslims seeking refuge from being attacked. Like the family of the Prophet, peace upon him, Hassan's great grandson, they were being attacked.
Right.
So they had to move with their families,
Right.
their armies, whatever, into Africa,
Right.
because Africa always helped them.
Right.
You understand? And the African people were always known for having a connection to Allah. You understand? When the Arabs were killing Muslims, it was the Muslims of Ethiopia and Habasha that welcomed them.
Abyssinia, right?
And so
Alhamdulillah.
you can't look at Islam, the beginning of Islam, as Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The beginning of Islam goes back since the beginning of man. You understand? And so the Africans have always been on that.
Alhamdulillah.
You understand? So it's not nothing new to the continent of Africa.
So you start talking about West African scholarship and Islam. Can you go ahead and how did you get into that, and what's the connection? What's the importance of West Africa, Islamic West African traditions for us here living in the United States in this wilderness?
MashaAllah. So one scholar said that Islam is like a clear river that takes the form of the rocks it flows over. If you look at Indonesia, they got their own flavor. Saudis got their own flavor. West Africa got their own flavor. America got their own flavor, right? Without changing the core, it takes the form of the rocks it flows over. But Islam in West Africa, man, is amazing. It's particular, you know, all the scholars, right? But Sheikh Uthman and Fodio, Rahimahullah, and his family, they had they inherited the miracle of using a little bit of words with lots of meanings. And one of the reasons why, because they knew as time goes on, people won't have the blessing to read large volumes of books.
Whoa.
So they wrote small books, 8 pages, 15 pages, that, man, takes, man, so much commentary, but it can revive a whole village, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's a blessing that the West Africans inherited from Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
And these are our ancestors. These are the direct ancestors of such a significant portion of African Americans.
I read a cold-blooded article. It was against African Americans saying kings and queens all the time. There was so much more to Africa than kings and queens, man. There was great scholars, you know what I'm saying? Engineers,
artisans.
You know? Yeah, matter of fact, the kings were, you know, they can't even compare to the scholars.
Right.
You know, if you look at the books of West Africans, they look down upon being around the kings, because they valued knowledge more than materialistic things. They were righteous kings like Mansa Musa, but if you look at the West African scholars, what they honored was knowledge.
They had more juice than the king.
They had more juice than the king.
Go ahead.
The first ever universities in the world were emanated out of Africa.
What's up, my bro? What's going on?
Whatever you doing,
That's what's up.
good. And I know that. Love you to death.
I love you too, my bro.
Love you,
Thank you, bro.
Some more of that.
Rice and beans.
Shout out
so
to
the
my
first
brother.
universities in the world came out of Africa. The oldest university, or that are continuing to operate even today. And so what a lot of people don't know is that the foundations that the West is built upon is Africa. It's African scholarship. This is something that's overlooked, and some might say purposely hidden.
Oh, it's definitely purposely
That's
hidden.
really where I'm taking my students at the beginning of the year. You know, I went in determined not to just, you know, not to just go with the same old, because I wanted to give my students something. I feel like what's going on is an opportunity, and that's exactly where I'm taking. I really want to have y'all as guests on the Zoom call, because right now we just on a Google Meet, but I got it broken down. Who were we before we came over here, before we were brought to these shores? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of our children don't have that context, you know, and so y'all are tapping into right where I want to go with my students.
I mean, if you look at Dr. Sherman Jackson brought up something interesting. Even more Africans were brought to Brazil through slavery. But Brazil didn't produce what came out of America. There's nothing like the Nation, Malcolm, Muhammad Ali, or nothing like that in Brazil. So there's a unique struggle here in America that wasn't produced anywhere else. It could have been because, you know, the slave master here was on another level, but whatever was, the beauty that comes out of African American culture, the ability to rise above.
That goes into, what did the Sheikh tell you about?
The clear river.
No.
Whoever gets it hard.
Yeah, whoever gets it hard takes it
Come
hard.
on.
You know what I'm saying? And if you look at the flavor, and the style, and what the African American community has put out, it impacts the whole world.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you can even find these roots in West Africa. For example, the son of Sheikh Uthman Fodio, he designed clothes. You know what I'm saying? So, and then they had a system of teaching and never charging money. So you had to have something on the side. It prevented religious corruption. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
So they had amazing systems, man.
So, I want to go back to those 20 rock eyes. I want to go to day one. Your new birth, your new origin story.
Yeah.
What happened after the next day? Like how
man.
did Islam begin to take hold in you,
Check
bro?
it out, man. It's cold-blooded, man. It's real funny. So they throw me up in there, 20 dark eyes. Man, I'm like, damn. So next thing you know, they're like, man, you got to come sleep with us, man. You can't go back. I wake up, man, have my first wet dream ever. I never had a wet dream ever in my life, man. And, man, these Muslim brothers took the blankets I was on and put it on me and escorted me out the mosque like this. I was like, damn, man, what's going on, man? Then they told me, yeah, you gotta take a shower, man, and then come back. I was like, damn. But then next thing you know, brother come with a huge flower pot, like this big, man. It was a tip like that, literally like this long. Man, when you use the bathroom, you gotta put this in your back and clean your back with water. You mean your backside.
Get that stinger.
That stinger. I don't know nothing about this, man. I was pouring the water on my back here, making my shoulders like a canyon. Hoping that the joint would go down. You know what I'm saying? Reach something, make it down there somehow. So we didn't have a lot of support to learn. You know what I'm saying? But we got it together. After my man took Shahada, I took Shahada. My brother, man, over like 55 people from my neighborhood ended up becoming Muslim. So much that the people from the projects thought the mosque was giving money away.
Wow.
Gang of people took Shahada.
That's powerful, bro.
And then we just came on the block with signs that said, man, heroin kills you and Allah saves you. Any place we hustled, we stood in front as Muslims.
Wow.
We went back to the block.
That's powerful. That's
Yo,
powerful.
how many, like, for those who don't know, I mean, like, there's so many Muslim communities that have done some similar type things.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like Imam Jamil. I mean, like, any other ones that stand out to you, man?
Man, the Dar es Salaam movement, you know what I'm saying? If you look at the Dar es Salaam movement, the work they put in back in the days, the work the nation put in back in the days, you know, MIB in Harlem, you know what I'm saying? Man, the Muslims, the African American Muslims and, you know, the Puerto Rican Muslims, they started off in New Jersey, then in Spanish Harlem with Alianza Islamica. They had their own street patrols. They patrol their own streets, man. And so you have people from the Young Lords movement, right? The Puerto Ricans took the Statue of Liberty hostage in 1977 to free Puerto Rican political prisoners. Those movements of Puerto Ricans, several of those people end up coming to Islam. So they took Islam back to the streets, you know. So there's a history. That's supposed to be the American way, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, don't be staying up in the mosque, man. Come out on the block with the people.
I mean,
Straight up.
Teach, brother.
Man, so what do you think about now going, what's the status of the Black Lives Matter? Do you feel like it has the right level of spiritual awakening with it, or how do we tie those two in?
I try to be careful because you got young people, man, who they want justice, man.
Word.
And older people need to stay out the way, man. You know, we can offer advice, you know what I'm saying? But, man, if somebody want, man, justice, man, well, you know, man, that's what's going to have to do it. Because the old people, you know, been a little bit too comfortable.
Too shook.
You know what I'm saying? And so there's different cultures that, you know, and different lifestyles people not down with. You know what I'm saying? That's none of my business.
Right.
But the hunger I see in the eyes of young people,
Right.
man, I can't knock that, man.
Word.
You know, all I can do is say, watch out. Not everybody next to you is down with you.
Right.
Because we got a history of our own people stabbing us in the back.
Right.
I can offer them advice on that.
Speak on it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I ain't getting in their way.
Right.
Because they doing stuff that other people should have been doing a long time ago.
Alhamdulillah.
My fault. I started to interrupt, but you was going into the Tartawi. So now you had this wet dream, bro. Now you done did a backward stinger. You got.
Oh, man, that's all bad. My first 3 days is rough, man. But it was beautiful, man.
Mashallah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember, man, we wouldn't even wear pants. We wouldn't wear regular clothes. I just wear Muslim clothes.
Izar,
Yeah, so one
Jalabia.
time I told my brothers, these are the cats I was hustling the streets with.
Yes,
I
sir.
said, man, let's chill, man. Let's watch a movie. I said, there's this movie called End of Days with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's about the Illuminati and the Freemasons. It's deep. Let's go check it out. I try to gas it up, right? They were like, all right, man. We go to see it. We had this van we used to roll in, man. We were like, we had like this Scooby-Doo Muslim van we used to roll in. We went to go see it. First 15 minutes in the movie, Shaitan, the devil's in the movie, he takes a woman's breast out and puts it in his mouth. All my Muslim brothers, they go, Astaghfirullah, Allah forgive us. It was like a stadium wave. Allah forgive us, Allah forgive us, Allah forgive us. I start laughing. They say, yo, emergency meeting right now. Yo, you laughing? I was like, yeah, I'm laughing, man. We was just selling crack man, 90 days ago, man. Now we laughing because one breast in the mouth of Shaitan, you know. I'm laughing because I'm happy.
Right.
Because how we done changed, man.
That's beautiful.
It was beautiful to me.
That's beautiful.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Can you talk about how did you end up here in Pittsburgh, beloved?
So my Sheikh Muhammad Sharif, may Allah bless him and preserve him.
I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
where is he?
He's in Mali.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love that brother.
MashaAllah.
Bro, like, that brother is a sincere brother, man. And I always ask, like, where is he? And if anybody ever talked to that brother, please tell him, Brother Jason from the
Inshallah.
Nation of Islam. I used to bring the papers and the bean pots, and that brother always showed me so much love.
MashaAllah.
The building, the original building, that was on the north side too, right?
Yeah,
Where did
yeah.
I used to come see him? It seemed like it was up off of.
He used to live in Wilkinsburg.
Okay.
But the mosque was over here by Spring Garden. on the
That's
north
where I
side.
used to come. It
Yeah,
seemed
yeah.
like a wood structure.
Yeah.
I remember. Okay, alhamdulillah,
Yeah.
man. That's I love that brother, man.
Mashallah.
So that's how you ended up here.
Yeah, that's my Sheikh Muhammad Sharif, may Allah preserve him.
Do y'all ever talk to him,
I talk to him every week, man. I talk to him every week. I have classes with him every week.
bro? Please,
Inshallah. I tell
send
him.
my salam.
I definitely will.
I want to see if he remember the brother.
Inshallah, I mentioned it.
And
man.
even if he don't remember, he better be like, "Oh yeah, Brother Jason." No,
Inshallah.
just like,
no, I mentioned to him.
Yeah.
So he moved here to set up the Sankour Institute of Islamic African Studies.
Okay.
Anybody want to see his work? Our website, all the books are free. SIIASI.org.
Okay.
And so I moved here to study with him. I also got offered a job by the Homewood Y Gang Intervention Department.
Shout out to Sister Inshura,
Big shout out to Sister Inshura, man.
Brother Jay,
Brother Elijah.
Brother Elijah.
May Allah fill
May
his
Allah
grave with
be
light,
pleased,
man. That was
Wow.
my man, man. Brother Elijah Muhammad, man.
Used to be in there with Tone Walls.
Tone Walls. Brother Elijah was on the front desk.
Yep.
The rest of us was down in the gang department downstairs.
Alhamdulillah.
The old school Y.
And I used to, so that was before they built the new building.
Before they built the new building.
I came in when they built the new one. When they rebuilt it, they built the new structure. But I used to you was working with Sister Inshura still back then, right?
Yeah, I was there at the old Y.
Yeah, that was powerful work that y'all was doing even then, bro.
It was,
You
it
know?
was, man.
Yeah.
It was real impactful, man. Me and Lukman Abdul Salam, we were focusing on drug dealing prevention.
Shout out to Brother Lukman
Yeah,
too, brother.
Shout out to Brother Lukman. It's about, we were focusing on how do we help young hustlers view hustling from a different perspective.
That's powerful. That's
what I'm
powerful. So you said Muhammad Sharif brought you
He
brought you here.
He actually he brought me to the Homewood Y
Wow.
and said, I want you to deal with Sister Inshura. And I don't want you to work anywhere else.
Beautiful sister, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the man that just happened to give me the job. You know what I'm
Alhamdulillah.
saying?
So then you was working with kids in the gangs and teaching this anti-drug selling.
Yeah, we work in Westinghouse High School. Cats who were hustling. You know, sometimes you had cats who were from the streets. They couldn't come outside for whatever. Just the insurance would bring me to their house. I build with them. Sometimes teaching about Islam.
What year was that?
Talking about 04.
Yeah.
2004.
Yeah. Wow.
Mashallah.
Wow.
That's what's up. And so what was the vibe in the city like in the streets at that time, and maybe like compared to now?
So East Lib was black back then. You know what I'm saying? Black.
Remember E-Fest?
Who?
Remember E-Fest? They used to have a big
Yeah.
festival in East Liberty.
No doubt. No doubt.
That was beautiful.
It was. I mean, there was black people out. You know. Go ahead.
Remember the Ave? Like, it was like that one little block where Jamil's is.
It was cracking. Everybody was outside hustling.
It was like New York.
Yeah,
that one block was like being on like
Fulton in
Canal
Brooklyn.
Street. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I felt like I was in Fulton back in the
Bro.
days. Everybody vendors,
Bro.
making halal good money. You know what I'm saying? And
was
I
beautiful,
loved
bro.
it, man. You know, but then they say once you see a coffee shop and you see a cupcake shop, you've been defeated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what exactly went down.
Yeah.
Even over here in the north side, like over here around
I
Federal.
believe Pittsburgh is the 4th most gentrified city in America,
Wow.
if I'm not mistaken.
You all right, bro? You good?
Yo,
you good?
Hamza,
Come on.
Did you hear?
Yeah.
Peace, bro.
Peace.
Did you see the report that came out with the mayor's department last year, the gender and equity study that they said that Pittsburgh leads what they said, like of
So they
all
s-
comparable cities compared in comparable size to Pittsburgh, we
Right.
lead it, and like we're the worst place for African Americans. Like,
Yep.
like if you
Yep.
leave, basically your life expectancy will go up.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and it said that we were the worst, and they broke it down in categories like housing, employment,
Health.
education, life expectancy,
Life expectancy.
right? Like you said, health.
Mhm.
And they said that black women were even more at risk, you know. But as a whole, we was just like they said. Basically, if they took you anywhere and put you in any other city, your life expectancy will automatically go up. Yeah.
And not only your life expectancy, but your economic
Opportunities,
status,
right?
everything.
Yep.
That's real, because Pittsburgh, man, from what I see, is a lot of backdoor handshake connection
That's a
stuff.
fact. That's a
And
fact.
if you ain't part of that club,
That's a
man,
fact.
man, it's really hard to make moves, man.
That's a fact.
Straight up and down, man. Really hard to make moves.
Man, so how have you been able to navigate this and do the work that you do? Like maybe you could tell us what you're doing now out here teaching and
Yeah, so now I work for Pittsburgh Public Schools through an organization called Three Rivers Youth, and I run the diversion program. So if kids get caught with 5 grams or less of weed,
Okay.
they're with me for 3 days.
Okay.
And we build for 3 days. We talk, make life decisions, different type of stuff. We watch film. You know what I'm saying? If they get
So
caught
you just kick it with them one on one.
no, I might have a whole group of them.
Wow.
You know, if they get caught with more than 5 grams, then they're with me for 45 days. You know what I'm saying? And I come visit them, and we talk.
What's the reception like with the youth?
Oh, excellent, man.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
yo, tell us some of the educational strategies that you employ with our students, man, because you're one of the most creative, innovative educators when it comes to breaking things down for our community.
So I only teach with 5-minute, how you say, increments.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. 5 minutes, I tell them take a break, look at your phone. I
Mm.
get everybody phone break, get on it, get it out your system. I said, get ready, we about to get started again. We get started again, they got to put their phones to the side.
How are they receptive to that?
Yeah, they
Wow.
are.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I let them, because they're not even supposed to have their phones.
Right.
But what I
So-
tell them is, I'm going to let you keep your phone. You can have your phone right next to you. We're going to go for 5 minutes, then you can be on your phone.
Wow.
And so we make this agreement before we even start. And then, because we can only take so much.
That's
man.
true.
Ain't nobody want to hear no long, no 20-minute talk, man.
Yeah, I was just listening to, I forgot who said it, but on a podcast, somebody was breaking down how the attention span went from an hour to, when we were growing up, a sitcom was a half hour, and now it's 10-minute clips on YouTube, you know, and now you even saying even shorter, breaking it down to like 5-minute increments, right?
If you look at what youth watch, they watch Vines.
Right.
Little
TikTok, TikToks, and
40
Snapchat.
40
Yeah.
seconds. So
Instagram
you going in the
stories.
15 minutes, man, you pushing being irrelevant. Cause they're not even, as soon as they see that number on the bottom of the
It's a
video,
wrap. It's a wrap.
they're like, man, I got time for that,
Even
man.
in hip hop, you know, we used to get 3 verses out of MCs.
No
now,
doubt.
now you lucky if you get a verse.
Yeah.
You know, like
Straight
you
up
know,
and
even how the song structure changes. Like I just feeling the beat, and then hold on, you gonna change the beat on me? Like what's going on? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's deep.
No
That's
doubt,
deep.
no doubt.
That's
What's
deep.
some of the stuff that you seeing from the young people that you're dealing with in Pittsburgh? Like, are you seeing higher uses of weed and different drugs? And like, what's their vibe? Like, do you feel like that the adults could do something to intervene? Like, are they like what do they need, man? What do the youngins need, man?
Man, weed it's legal in so many places
Right.
that you trying to fight against it. You know what I'm saying? I don't be talking about that, man.
Right.
I talk about their heart.
Yes, sir.
Now, what's your plan, man? What
sir.
you looking like, man?
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I can't
Yes,
deal
sir.
with that stuff because they're
Yes,
not gonna hear me. Not gonna hear me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I talk about, man, what are the things that affect you inwardly? That's what I talk about.
And you know, people talk about weed for self-medication. You know, really to deal with a lot of trauma. What's some of the trauma like that you've seen that these young people are experiencing? You know, can you touch on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's I see youngsters, man, whose father's been murdered,
Right.
and man, what they need is, man, they're not used to like love without
Conditions.
hidden agendas.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like just straight up love for you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's rare. Cause you see like a lot of Christianity, man, they offering people sandwiches, but you gotta take a pamphlet. You know what I'm saying? This Christian homeless shelter down the block, they won't even let you put your head on the pillow if you don't go to church. So and not all of them are like that. But a genuine love with no strings attached. You know, that's what a lot of people got twisted with the word kafir, right?
Okay.
You see these military dudes, they got the word kafir tattooed on them. Kafir means something that's covered up. It comes from farming, like a seed that's covered up.
Well, what does the word kafir mean? It means non-Muslim. Typically, it translated as a non-believer.
Yeah, and it's a non-believer, but the origin of it comes from farming.
So you mean to tell me that it's not supposed to be used as an insult?
I'm telling you the history of the word in Arabic.
Okay.
It comes from farming.
Okay,
Like
because
a-
you hear it leveled as
Yeah.
an insult.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. But you have to look at the meaning of it.
Okay.
It comes from a seed, like a seed covered up.
Okay,
So in other words, the seed represents the potential.
got it.
Yeah.
And the person who puts the seed knows that it's see, a kafir, when we say non-believer, it just doesn't mean someone who doesn't believe, because they don't know. A true kafir is someone who knows that seed has potential and he buries it because he doesn't want it to.
That's powerful. That's
you know?
that's
And
powerful.
so that's the connection with farming. So that's someone who really knows.
And that
their
seed
heart,
represents
you know,
Islam.
You almost have a really, you know, your heart has to be kind of messed up to be a true kafir. Most
Right.
people just don't know.
Right.
That's
Right. That's,
But even with that,
go ahead.
how we're supposed to view it is that inside this person
potential.
is who he really is covered up. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to us.
And the lens that you looking at it, you see that you don't see why they in the program or whatever. You just see the potential that they have.
You're either around two people, one that's gonna water the seed of negativity or the seed of positivity.
That's beautiful, brother.
I gotta come and water the seed that's positive.
That's beautiful. And that's always the vibe, bro, that I've always gotten from you, brother. It's love, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thankful for that, man.
And-
you know.
So, like, why do you feel like there's no adults that's really having these conversations and connecting with our kids like that? Because I kind of see that happening too with our youngest. They just need some real guidance and elders to really build with them.
It's very complex, man. It's not like no black and white thing because human
Yeah.
beings are complex.
Yeah.
So what one young person might need, you can't apply that to everybody. It's a case to case basis. One young person, if you try to be up on them, it's a turnoff. One of them, if you don't, then they feel like you got no love for them. So each human being deserves their individual respect and approach. You can have a general approach for a classroom, but at some point in time, you got to show some individual love.
Yeah.
Can I chime in on
Yes, sir. Please.
you know, in relation to what you just asked,
Mhm.
one of our teachers, Sheikh Saleh, is also from Africa. He said, you can't give what you don't have. So when you're asking about the generation, how come the kids aren't getting it from them? They don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not through no fault of their
Right,
own.
right, right.
It's just something they don't have. If I don't have it, how can I give it to you?
Mm-hmm.
And also, I wanted to address your earlier question when you're asking Humza about what is it they need or what is it they're looking. You know, I think you were kind of implying towards drugs. What is it they're after? But really, what Hamza offers is really more than anything. It's two things that every human being needs:
Okay.
attention, and I don't mean attention like like showing off attention, but caring attention.
Yes, sir.
And where does it have to come from? Sincerity.
Yeah.
So when they feel sincerity, they're getting the attention, their needs are being met through sincerity, they gravitate towards that.
That's powerful.
This is one of the draw of the games
No doubt.
because it don't come. A lot of times that's real love. That's like, yo, we out here, we all on the block, like we together. It's that brotherhood. That
No doubt. Let me share this powerful thing that happened to me, man.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I called up my sheikh one day. He was in China, right? I got me a calling card. I called him up, man. I said, I was doing really bad. I said, Sheikh, man, I hit rock bottom. I went through a divorce. I I said, Sheikh, man, I hit rock bottom, man. And he said, are you in the hellfire? I said, nah. He said, then you didn't hit rock bottom. He said, stand up, man. Put the feather back in your cap. Man, stand up. That impacted me, man, because when we deal with kids, man, we always looking at them like there's such a problem, man, when all they doing is living. Ali said, youth is a form of madness. The only cure is getting older.
Wow.
All we gotta do is stand next to them, man.
Wow.
That's it.
And
Youth is a form of madness.
You know that Olympic game when that thing is going by and the dudes are just
curling.
That's all we gotta do, man.
And you think about this, bro.
We just
right.
Icing it for them, man.
And it's deep that what you said that because a lot of them get cut off from that because of some tragedy or some violence, and we, like you said, we just gotta like make the groove so that they can slide to, where they can.
and we abandon them. You know what I'm saying?
That's
We be
true.
like, look where
That's
they're going, and we just walk away. You know?
I think one of the things that we have to recognize, and it's increasing, is the level of traumatization that's taking place,
serious.
particularly in America.
Yes, sir.
So when we're talking about the youth, we're talking about generational trauma. It's very, as Imam mentioned, it's very complex. It's not, real simple.
Deep.
Because you're being raised by someone who is traumatized, who was raised by someone who was traumatized, going back, and it's layer upon layer. And it's not exclusive either. Everybody's traumatized.
That's true. That's true.
So we're
That's
living
true.
in a traumatized culture.
And I'll say this too, like, we too quick to forget smoking that weed and heroin blunt. You know what I'm saying? Like we forget where we come from sometimes as we talk to these youth because we got on a shirt and a tie, or we ain't walking on all fours. Like we forget, but we got to remember them days, like how bad where we come from, and that gives us perspective and context because a lot of them ain't as bad as we was.
Now, here's the thing, man. They listen, man. One of the scholars said there's people circling the Kaaba right now
Come on.
who will be in the armies of the Antichrist. And there's people in the club dancing right now who will be in the armies of Jesus Christ and the Imam Mahdi.
Alhamdulillah.
You know what I'm saying? So, where somebody's at, that don't mean nothing, man.
The nation says, he said, Minister Farrakhan said Elijah Muhammad told him, he said, my greatest follower is out there in the street. Go get him. You know what I'm saying? And so that's, we was in Whitaker today, bro. Montview Heights. Bro, it looked like them projects ain't been upgraded since the 70s when they built them. I asked him, I said, when you think these was built, man? Bro, it was, but that's, that's where the love was, man. The people were coming out like, who are y'all? You know what I'm saying? And so, like, that's just essential, man. We got to be out here in these streets, man. And I'm thankful for that spirit, man. I'm thankful for Amil, me and him vibe as we go into the school every day. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. Yeah.
Sheikh Abdullah Fodi, a great West African scholar, he said, every time Allah sends a Pharaoh, he sends a Moses.
Wow, that's powerful.
So there are people always going to have somebody, man. Just because we getting hit right now don't mean we losing.
Right.
That's the most cold-blooded victory is when you come back.
Right. I got two things I want to ask you about.
No problem.
Brother was talking about the documentary New Muslim Cool. Can you talk about how that came about?
It came about from director Jennifer Taylor. She wanted to film like Muslims involved in hip hop, and then she did some interviews with us, and she wanted to put the focus on my brother and I. And so she started filming us with our family and so on, and our Jamaat, the Jamaat Sheikh Uthman and Fodio, and that's how it kind of took place.
Well, how did your life change after that documentary came out? Because that documentary was
powerful.
It came out at a very critical time in American history. It came out post 9/11.
What year did it come out?
03?
2009.
Oh, 9.
Yeah,
Oh,
2009,
dang.
yeah.
My bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, but it was post 9/11. It was the Iraq War was back. The Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Bush was.
Yeah. Here's the thing. At those times, a lot of the representation or the visuals of Muslims or media were immigrants. So it gave a real look at what Islam really was with the people by showing a Puerto Rican with African Americans. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's how it was back in the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? And back in the days, you know, even in the nation back in the 50s, there were Latino members.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And so, so it showed a real look at indigenous Muslims. And what, to me, the overall message is somebody discovering about their true ignorance. Right. To me, I'm discovering about my true ignorance, my lack of knowledge of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. You know what I'm saying? And then my journey as a Muslim to revive a community with my brothers and my emirs and my teachers and all that, as people still discovering ourselves.
That was beautiful.
You mentioned that when the Sheikh came to you back in the day and he asked you those two questions. He said, "Do you believe that there's only one God?" And then he asked you, "Do you believe in the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him?" And you said, "Yeah," but did you know who the Prophet Muhammad was?
Nothing, man. I didn't know nothing about no Prophet Muhammad. So that's
okay.
I just knew I'd say yes. Bro, this is your time.
MashaAllah.
So told me, man, this is your time. Just hearing his name, I say, man, I believe in him.
Can you tell us why do you think the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a great guide for right now what's going on? As a prophet for humanity.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, respect to all the Christians who know about Isa alayhi salam, who know about Jesus, you know, all the different leaders. But I feel like a lot of times the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's not known about as well. So,
man, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he is the embodiment of mercy in the form of creation. How? Because all of his life we can relate to, right? He was a husband. He was a father. Did you grow up without a father? He grew up without a father. Did you lose your parents? He lost his parents. Did you lose a child? He lost his child. Did you get attacked for who you are? He got attacked for who he was. You understand? Did you get people trying to kill you? People try to kill him. You understand? Are you oppressed with your people because of their skin color? He was oppressed. He lifted up the oppressed. You know what I'm saying?
Are you in ignorance? He was in Jahiliyyah, right? The context of Jahiliyyah of the Arabian Peninsula.
Yeah. He was surrounded by people
ignorance.
who was filled with ignorance.
Right.
But when he looked at them, the difference between him and other people is that we look at people. He looked at them of pieces of the origin of goodness. Like he really wanted good for them. Anybody who had real animosity in their hearts, they died quick. Other people, they all became completely transformed by how he treated them. You know what I'm saying? With mercy. Never, man, he never, all the children that were around him, he never asked one child the word why. When a kid did something wrong, he never told Anas ibn Malik, may Allah be pleased with him, why'd you do this? Because he felt the word why was a form of torture. If my child breaks my TV and I ask why, it's not going to fix the TV. So he even kept in the rights of a child's mind. What you say to a child, you know what I'm saying? That stuff for somebody like me that came from the streets, grew up with without a dad, he's the ultimate model of a human being, man.
That's beautiful.
You know what I'm saying?
That's beautiful.
He wasn't dark skinned, no, he wasn't light skinned. He wasn't tall, no, he wasn't short. His hair wasn't straight, no, it wasn't extremely curly. He was born around April 22nd, even in the middle of climate.
Wow.
Everything about him was in the middle. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way, man, is being in the middle. You can have a spiritual program, don't forget who you are as a person. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful balance, you know, that he gave us.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah. What was it like seeing yourself on Netflix?
You know, to me, it created a big problem inside.
Oh.
Because I was studying this West African manuscript called Umdatul Muta'abidin by Sheikh Uthman and Fodio. And in there, he quotes a verse from the Quran. And he said, whoever desires greatness, then paradise is not for you. The believers should not desire greatness. A mountain doesn't have to say it's a mountain.
Right.
It just stands
It's
as a mountain.
Okay.
But if I desire greatness in the eyes of creation, that's an inward disease. So the documentary made me want to fall back.
Okay. So you wrestled with that inside of yourself.
I couldn't write a verse no more with the word I in it.
Cause you was an MC too.
Yeah, no, I was involved in music. I could have used the documentary to really set off. I was on, USA Today, NBC, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It was really kicking off. But I saw that I need to go the opposite way. I need to go inward and shut it down.
So that was my second question. I remember back when they still made CDs with the plastic cover, and copping M-Team. I guess I copped it from you. M-Team. That was and when you get so I'm from the nation, and at Savior's Day we would go to our convention. People got CDs, check out my hip hop, but it's rare that you find hip hop where people got bars with a message that ain't too preachy. But when I heard what you had, now you have some MCs that can do that, but y'all was spitting, bro, and it was good, dope hip hop bars. The music was tight. It was a quality package, bro. Can you talk about making that, bro? Can you talk about M-Team?
Yeah, I mean, it started first when I first started doing music. We're a 7-man group called FOSSL. FOESL stood for the Fraternity of Educated Slaves, right, or the Force of an Educated Slave. But then my brother and I became Muslim, and we started M-Team, right? We recorded our first album probably on September 13th, 2001, 2 days after 9/11.
Wow.
We recorded a single called Burning Bush.
Whoa.
Right?
So you went in, you leaned into the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, the chorus said, America, home of the freeland of the slave. America, invented crack and AIDS. America, we was like going in on one, you know what I'm saying? Right. Because I saw hip hop as a voice, you know what I'm saying? And so we started music, but as I started learning more, now in Islam, what's interesting is Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, always gave a pass for Africans to do music. When the Africans were dancing in the mosque with music, he stopped the companions from trying to stop them. On the prayer of Eid, when 2 African girls were singing, Abu Bakr Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him, tried to stop them, he stopped Abu Bakr. So my sheikh told me that the Africans kind of always had this cultural past.
Even the history of the Adhan and Bilal and the beauty of the music of the Adhan.
No doubt. So but as I started studying the dangers of not doing music with the right intention.
Okay.
That's the key.
Okay.
You gotta have the right intention. I thought, man, I need to fall back, man.
Okay.
And then I was getting older too, because hip hop's a culture of youth. If you old and fat, still dropping mixtapes, man, and you ain't MF Doom, man, listen, boy, man, you need to.
Shout out to Nas. Nas is project.
Nas blow up.
Oh, okay.
Not if you're successful.
Okay.
I'm talking about, man, if you.
If you're trying to break. If you're trying to
Right,
break.
right. Okay, I got
If your son is in high school dropping his own thing, you know what I'm saying, and you still,
Trying to compete with him.
you standing
got you.
outside of Giant Eagle trying to get a cat.
Yeah.
For
SoundCloud,
yes,
yo.
That looks crazy.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a sign that you ain't paying attention to your, you know what I'm saying? Like you
Right.
have to, in different stages of our life, we have to be about different things.
Got it.
So I said, man, you know what? I did my music. I need to work on me now.
That's beautiful. Now, do you still have? I'm sure in your program and the youth that you come across, you have young people that want to do music. Do you have do you offer them guidance, or do you let in I used to, I do that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I don't say none of that. I don't say none of that.
You keep that tucked.
Yeah, I just let them do their
Okay.
thing, man.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? I
okay.
offer them some advice.
Okay,
You know what I'm
but never the advice from the perspective of,
Yeah, sometimes I mention, I was once a little bit involved. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
okay.
I try to offer them some advice as far as to protect themselves from people who don't got good intentions.
got it.
You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I kind of let them stay out the way. You know what I'm saying?
So that documentary, man. So after you said you had to fall back, man, I wish it was still on Netflix. It seemed like
Where
it's hard to
can you
stream
still
it,
watch
bro.
It's
Like
on Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon
Yeah,
Prime?
It's on Amazon.
Okay.
It's on. Amazon has a whole channel dedicated to Muslim film called Alchemia.
Wow.
So you can watch it on there. It's like a Muslim Netflix.
Yeah, so if y'all haven't seen it yet, the brother's being super humble, and I respect that. I love that about you, bro. But if you haven't seen it yet, please check out New Muslim Cool. It's a powerful documentary.
Straight up.
I was just thoroughly impressed, man. And it just gave me a different perspective when I saw you. I was just like, wow, that's dope, bro.
I got one question for you, Hamza. I hope there's a response. I just want to laugh real quick. You have some amazing spiritual teachers that sometimes they teach you in unorthodox ways. Can you share one of those type of stories, man? Like,
Okay, I mean, so you know, when I try to deal with brothers on the inside, you know what I'm saying, we talk about the nafs. The nafs is like the corrupt passions. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If you don't, I try to teach them, like, man, if you don't know how to control your corrupt passions will have you on the block controlling you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And so, you know, when you talk to people, man, you got to talk to them in their language.
Yes, sir.
And so I might cater that, whoever that may be. Might not even be appropriate for right now. You know what I'm saying? But I have to examine, man, I don't always try to be, you know, I try to deal with them where they at. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the signs of religious corruption if you try to talk to them on a level that they can't understand. So I got to address them where they at. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where you trying to go, but
thank you,
I thought
Hamza.
the wet dream and on the water.
Oh, that was
back.
enough.
No, that was funny.
So, I told Brother Amil, and it really kind of has to do with me and his relationship, and you kind of touched on it, you know, as you talked about your childhood and your upbringing. You know, I see it as one ummah, you know. Sometimes, though, when people see that I'm a member of the Nation of Islam, you know, some Muslims are a little standoffish. I never got that from you. Can you talk about why?
I mean, I grew up with role models that were from the nation. You know what I'm saying? You know, I grew up seeing the impact that it had. So I deal with everybody. I try to deal with them the same way. You know what I'm saying? Until they give me a reason otherwise. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is in general, man. No matter what a person, if we have difference of opinion, if we from different backgrounds, man, we brothers in humanity until anything else happens, man.
And you know, with me and Brother Amil, it's always a vibe, man. Like, I learn from him, you know what I'm saying? And I hope he learned something from me.
Most definitely.
Okay, you know, but it's just always, it's always building and not destroying, you know, and that's a beautiful thing. But I thank you for your spirit always, and I have to give Brother Hajj a shout out. The first time that I met you, brother, was at the mosque, man, and we had dinner with. I'm
probably. And, you know, I'm just guessing. And sometimes I look upon my life and I say, man, how did Allah place me in this position? But I'm probably one of the few white Muslims that have attended a table, you know, what's it called again? The table.
Oh, the table talks.
The table talks.
Yeah, but it was love though. Did you have a beautiful time?
I felt privilege.
Yeah.
You know, white privilege. Yeah. I felt so blessed.
Yeah.
To be there.
That was a beautiful night, man. That was a beautiful
part
night.
Of the tradition and
Yes.
the culture.
Yes.
And you really see the depth of it.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Brother, it was Brother
mashallah.
Carlos, and y'all came down when Brother Imam Sultan did Juma, right? Yeah.
That was a special time because
It was being done at the
No, Imam-
Rashid was doing the.
no, Imam from Chicago, man.
Imam Sultan. Sultan Rahman. Yeah.
That's my brother, man.
Yeah. And he said that. He said that about y'all. He said, "Oh man, them is my brothers, man." And he talked about how, I don't know what y'all connection was previously, but he's the same love that you speaking about him with. He spoke to us about that, you know what I'm saying? And I even talked about our history. I said, yeah, Brother Hamza, that's my brother.
You have to remember too that Sheikh Muhammad Sharif, who's our sheikh, he's the fruit of Islam. His father was, you know, part of the nation. He grew up in the nation, and then, you know, that's where he emanated out of.
And now,
so that's the man who entered. You know, has the biggest influence on our life.
And that's always the spirit I got from him too. You know, the same. And y'all, y'all represent. I don't know how y'all feel about saying y'all represent him, but you know what I'm saying? He's a beautiful brother, and y'all are too, man. You know. Yeah. Alhamdulillah.
Hajj Ibrahim, you want to tell us a little bit what's going on with the Muslim community here on the north side? What you guys got going on, and
Sure. Yeah. So what's happening here, as the Imam mentioned, we've been here at the mosque over here, one block over, since 2006. So we're 14 years now, and you know we're a working class community. Our brothers are workers.
Shout out to the bird, man.
We're not engineers. We're not doctors. We don't have the money rolling in. We outgrew our spot some years ago, and knew we needed a new spot. But we put a lot of work into this neighborhood. We built social capital. We didn't want to lose that. So we're looking for places around the neighborhood, trying to find something. Now, meanwhile, you mentioned, I think, gentrification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when I first came here, you could buy buildings around
Cheap.
here for nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
And now, that's all changed. In any case, we're scratching our heads trying to figure out what we're going to do. We know we need something. And then, you know, Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most generous, sent to us a sister who had passed away. Her name is Anisa Kambor, Rahimullah. She's a
Rahimullah.
beautiful story.
May Allah be pleased.
An Iraqi woman who moved to America over 50 years ago, you know, and established herself in this city. She educated herself, became a doctor, did all kinds of charitable work around the city on the down low. And then when she passed away, she left behind some money to build a mosque here in Pittsburgh, and instructed her brother to find someone. He reached out to us through some other connections, and so we're building right now. We haven't broken ground yet. We're working on getting through the process, but we're building the first ever built from the ground up mosque within the city limits of Pittsburgh.
Allahu Akbar.
Yeah.
Have y'all
Mashallah,
identified a place?
alhamdulillah.
Yeah, it's going to be in Manchester.
That's
Inshallah.
beautiful, bro. That's
Hopefully.
beautiful.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
so,
Alhamdulillah.
you know, there's a lot involved in putting up any new building, you know, and but you know, we really, when we first came over to the north side, Manchester was the first place we looked at, and it didn't work out, and so we ended up kind of floating, and we planted ourselves where we're at now. But it's like we've come full circle, and so inshallah, make dua for us that we're successful at it.
Amen.
And you know, we're just happy to be here, to serve and to do the work, you know, in what we consider fertile ground.
And really, y'all represent holding it down for the people that gentrification would just like to move, you know, out to the county or something. You know what I'm saying? Y'all represent and speak for them. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that y'all stay here. You know what I mean? And just like we out here, like this is like a message to gentrification. Like y'all would like to move us, but like no, we here. You know what I'm saying? And yeah.
The reality is things are going to change.
Right.
Things are always changing. And here's the news: people are welcome to come here,
Right.
but don't displace the people that are
That's
already
right.
here.
That's right.
And in some ways,
That's right.
people don't do that intentionally.
Right.
It's economic factors.
Right.
They buy a house, it causes the other houses to rise in value, and so you have unintended consequences.
Right.
But what we strive for is you can't avoid change, but let's try and make it to keep the fabric of the society. Everybody's welcome together, and you know the north side is a unique place like that.
It is. It's
'Cause
different.
You can have someone from the worst of circumstances, and up the street you got a judge or a doctor, and that's not just from gentrification. That's part of the history of the north side.
That's
It's been
true.
that way for a long
That's true. Yeah, Amil, he over on the east side with me now, but you know, I know that the north side is like his original stomp as far as Pittsburgh is, you know, and so
Love the
like,
north
you know,
side.
I be moving around the east side. Amil like, man, we.
Well, I love the north side. It has to do a lot with these brothers right here.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
facts.
Brother Hamza, could you tell us a little bit about what you're doing with Muslim youth in the city and what's going on there? Because I know there's some Muslim parents. If you're an educator or one of our listeners in Pittsburgh area, and you know some Muslim youth, Hamza got some info for you.
Yeah, mashallah, we opened up a youth center in Oakland. on the lower level of the Islamic Center of Pittsburgh called YANI, Youth Alliance for Network and Empowerment. And so we have video games down there. We have a space where youth can chill. And then I teach classes on like religious foundations, Islamic foundations, and on Islamic character. And it's quick hit, 5-minute class. Kids go play. Give them a safe atmosphere where they can have fun but still learn.
Yeah, I think I was over there. It was iftar, maybe like 3 or 4 Ramadans ago, and you took me down there, and they was banging on the door like, "Is it open?" You know what I'm saying? They seen you take me in there talking, and the young people was hyped, and I went and told the brothers and sisters of Muhammad Mosque number 22, and I was just saying like, you know, we got to do something for the youth. You know what I'm saying? And you know, really, you talked about meeting them where they at, because I saw PS4s in there or PlayStations, and they had the air hockey. You know what I mean? And just the importance of that, man. So that was beautiful, bro.
No doubt. I mean, you know, we're dealing with different kind of youth, man. Right. So we got to be able to give them what they like, right?
Yes.
And then I call it the nutmeg. You know, if you watch the Malcolm movie, you know, when they give them the nutmeg, that's my nutmeg, man. I said, man, come here, play your games, man. Get your Fortnite on, right?
Yeah.
Guess what? We're going to have this 5-minute class on the rights of parents.
Right.
How you should treat your parents.
Right.
That's
beautiful.
Have the rights on what's possible for Allah, what's impossible for Allah.
And that's science and really a methodology that I got to take into the classroom, that 5-minute piece, you know, and that's really something that I'm going to start working with myself. You know, I'm thankful that right now our classes are shorter, you know, but I think, you know, you could and you should, you know, these school districts, they need to bring people like you in to consult, you know what I'm saying, about how to teach these teachers how to teach. You know what I mean? Because that's
yeah, if you look at them, man, they constantly swiping on their phones. Things
true.
constantly changing.
That's true.
Youth culture constantly changing, right? Yep. Same Jordans constantly changing, right? Yep. We have to be able to take our curriculums and do that.
Yep.
If we stuck in some old ways, using the old curriculum with old ways, man, we not.
That's where the behavior problems be coming from.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Man, when they're sitting in that class, all they're thinking about is when this is gonna stop.
Yep.
If you remind them we're about to stop in 5 minutes, hear this real quick, they can take that in short dosages. You know what I'm saying? And so you gotta you gotta check out your classroom and see, just on an individual basis, how you gonna work your own classroom. It could be different. You might have a class that has a higher level of tolerance. Right. It's up to each teacher to study their own class.
Right. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Man, there's a lot of pop. I'm loaded up, bro.
Yeah. This is
I'm loaded up. I got more though. I got more in the chamber, man.
Go ahead. I ain't trying to cut you off.
All right.
Go ahead.
So we just went through COVID, this pandemic. I'm kind of curious to know, like, what spiritual lessons, is this a spiritual time? Like, are we preparing for a spiritual awakening in society? And, because, I think one thing that the pandemic, no matter what your thoughts are on it now, in terms of, like, whatever, but it made a lot of people think more about death and life, and everybody kind of had that fear at that moment.
People think it's a hoax, it's a lie. My stepfather died from COVID-19. My father caught COVID-19. You know what I'm saying? It's real, man. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, no year will come except that it'll be worse than the year that passed. You know what I'm saying? So, and then if you look at the climate, the racial climate, man, it looked like stuff about to pop off.
Right.
So us as a people, man, we have to be turn the focus, man, really to our own people, man. Cause nobody gonna look at what we're looking at is the consequences and the effects after Obama. You know what I'm saying? I believe indigenous people were looking more from Obama. You know what I'm saying? And now Trump is like the white answer for white people after experiencing whatever, seeing a black man in office, whatever that did to them.
It was trauma for them.
Yeah, it was trauma. You know
a lot of them.
Michelle Obama gave them trauma. You know what I'm saying? And so, it's an atmosphere that's intense, man. And so it's coming from different angles, and I remember one of my teachers said, man, powerful statement. He said, "Now isn't the time for flip flops no more. Don't go outside with no flip flops."
It's true. That's real talk.
When I walk out with my kids out the steps, I tell them, man, have your shoes tied. We about to come outside.
That's true.
Hey, anybody else had them thoughts during quarantine?
Straight
You
up,
already
man, we
know.
gotta have a talk, man.
Right.
The atmosphere with police, the racial atmosphere, man, we coming outside, man.
Yeah.
Almost like Bird Box, man.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
which I thought was a deep flick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, because at the end, you know, the people who they sought shelter with were all physically blind.
Hold on, break that down, cause I heard a lot about Bird Box for a second, but
I didn't see it either.
Yeah, the movie Bird Box, in order to come outside, you had to be blindfolded. If not, something was going to attack you.
Okay.
And this woman sought refuge down a river, right? And she arrived in a community of people that were all blind. And that's who helped her. You understand? We have to almost be blind or close our eyes to all the negativity around us and focus on saving our families. Because these people ain't going to teach our kids what they need to learn. You know what I'm saying?
Come on with it.
And we got to be able to teach our own, man.
Yeah, I also thought, can you talk about the significance of, you know, right after COVID, Ramadan came in, you know, and, you know, I speak for, this was probably the strongest Ramadan that I've ever experienced. And I was just really, it was a blessing to be able to, you know, Minister Farrakhan talked about going in our chambers, you know, and just really like tapping into the spirit of Ramadan. I completed my Quran on time, my readings, I was making my salats, you know, and I was just really tapped in. And I told Brother Amil, we both was, we was vibing, you know, and I said, I want to find a way to harness the spirit. And I feel like that spirit that we brought out of it has like propelled us into, you know, just success, man. Like we've just been having blessings, you know, come out of that. So can y'all talk about how Ramadan was for you?
Yeah, it was the best Ramadan I ever had.
Alhamdulillah.
Because I spent every day with my family.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And it showed me what's the real focus. Because Allah says in the Quran, save yourselves and your family from a fire that's fueled by men and stones. So it allowed me, man, to just appreciate my wife, appreciate my kids, sit down, man, and look at my wife and kids when it's time. Not the hustle and bustle of going to the mosque and all that. And traditionally, Ramadan, they used to not eat in the Prophet's mosque during the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him. There was no eating in the mosque. You would eat at home. So they even brought it back to more the ritual essence of Ramadan. You know, so to me, it was my best Ramadan.
Yeah,
I want to make a couple comments on this, and I'm going to stay away from the political aspects,
Yes, sir.
you know, that have emerged out of it, and just kind of keep it with the rudimentary things. You know, I think if any of us were really reflect, and when I say any of us, I mean any human being, not a Muslim, not necessarily someone who's impoverished or someone's wealthy, any human being. If you ask for their opinion about the state of the world pre-COVID, everyone intuitively recognized, like, man, there's some type of imbalance. We're too excessive. We've got too much. We've got too much of some things and not enough of things that are really needed. So everybody, there was this kind of looming knowledge that something wasn't all right. And then COVID came along, and it slammed us into that, put the brakes on.
Yep.
You can't go to work, you can't go here, you can't go there. You know, kids are coming home from school, families are together. It was a reset. And it was a chance for all of us to pause and think about, you know, I kind of joke about it a little bit, as if Allah, put humanity on timeout and said, go sit in the corner.
That's real.
Think about how you've been behaving.
That's real.
That's what it gave us a chance to do.
That's real.
So reevaluated our relationships
Yep.
with our families,
Yep.
with our neighbors.
Yep.
And for me, I can't say it was the best Ramadan ever because I've been blessed to spend Ramadan in Mecca.
Alhamdulillah.
But it was, you know, for right here in Pittsburgh, in terms of its spiritual elements, it was fantastic because everything that the Imam just mentioned. Your home, the hustle and bustle of what typically takes place, it was just home it was like Sunday dinner every night with the family.
Yep.
You know, worship. All my worship was with my family. Tarawih was with my family. Even I did Eid prayer. I never did an Eid prayer. You know me, I don't do khutbahs and all that. I did a khutbah with my family.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And I think so was an opportunity for all of humanity. And if you look throughout the history in the Bible, in the Quran, the stories where people they strayed, Allah afflicted them. And the affliction itself was to kind of snap you out of your heedlessness.
That's true.
And so you can reevaluate.
That's true.
It's a great opportunity. Really, this COVID, this whole thing, it hasn't been difficulty. Have we lost people, as he mentioned, his stepfather? There's been tragedy, no doubt. But it's also within that, it's an opportunity for us to kind of reawaken as, you know, individuals and collectively, inshallah.
Inshallah. Yeah. So,
Man, we went over a lot, man.
yeah. This was beautiful, man. I thank y'all. And really, you know, we try not to put a number on the episodes, but like we really just we have wrapped season 1, and this is the first time we pulled out the mics in a while for
This is our first interview
for season
in
2.
person post-COVID,
Yep.
man.
Really?
Yeah, season 2 right here,
And
exclusive,
and
man.
It's an honor to kick it with y'all brothers. You know, yeah. So we thankful, man. We thankful and humbled, and you know, this was beautiful, man. Any last words?
Nah, man, just man, it's a good time for us, man, as a people, just to show love to each other, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When you show love to each other as family, you have to overlook our faults.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got one thing.
Go ahead.
Tell us about send some love out here, man, to some Pittsburgh legends. I know you the one who taught me about the elder brother Sheikh Dawood
Akbar.
Dawood Akbar.
Beautiful
man.
brother.
Give some shout out, give some love, man, to some of the legends from Pittsburgh that name need to ring out on these internets, that people need to Google, that's part of our
Imam
community.
Tariq. Yes.
Yeah, man, Imam Tariq, man.
Beautiful
Imam,
brother.
Sheikh Dr. Dawood Akbar.
Beautiful
you know what I'm
brother.
saying?
Like. Can I say something
Yeah, go
about
ahead, go
him?
ahead.
When you talk about, you know, they talking about mental health now. That's a big thing. Dawood Akbar was on that 20 years ago.
Man,
You know,
longer than that, man.
longer than that, but that's when I tapped into him, you know, and really like I went to him for the same thing that I'm going and dealing with a therapist now for my anger. You know, I had gotten in a fight with a Muslim brother in the jitney station, and shout out to my brother Daryl Muhammad. He said, you got to go see Dawood Akbar. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he's just a beautiful brother, man. And Allah is God. Allahu Akbar. But when he passed away, when he returned to Allah, it was a void, man. You know what I'm saying? It was a void, and I don't know if anybody else felt that, but that was a beautiful brother.
No doubt.
You know,
It impacted me because I was one of the last.
and he used to be in the Y. He used to be in the Y too.
I was with him when he passed away.
Yep.
I was with him. He caught the stroke in our office.
And he was always exercising.
Yeah.
That's why it was so
Swimming.
shocking.
He was swimming a lot.
Yeah.
He caught the
'Cause
stroke
I worked
in the
Y.
office.
I worked
man.
in the Y. Yeah.
I was with him in the ambulance.
Yeah.
We went all the way to the hospital, man.
Wow. Wow.
So, you know, and I would go to, you know, even though we worked together, I would always go for him to counsel him.
Yeah.
But one of his aspects of work that I picked up is pre-marriage counseling for minorities.
Wow.
That's what I do now. So for all Muslims, I offer pre-marriage counseling.
That's important.
I even wrote a marriage manual.
That's
I
essential,
put together
bro.
a marriage manual for before you get married. I got that from Sheikh Dawood Akbar. You know what I'm saying? But another living legend, man. You know, one of the legends, man. Brother Elijah,
Brother
man.
Elijah.
2-piece biscuit.
Yeah.
Ow,
We.
Man,
Diamond
Brother
in the back, sunroof top, digging
Man,
the
listen, man, Brother Elijah, man, there was a shootout on the Homewood Bulldogs football field with an AK-47. Everybody running for their life. Brother Elijah standing on the 50-yard line, not going nowhere, like a soldier, man.
Shout out to brother.
Wow.
May Allah be pleased.
I mean,
You know, brother Elijah, man, legend.
Man, straight up and
Legend.
down, man.
Legend, bro.
Straight up and
He
down.
used to show me pictures of when Muhammad Ali came to the mosque, you know, back in the day to the Nation of Islam Mosque down in Homewood. I had to say Imam Hussein. Imam Robert Mustafa Hussein, another legend, you know. Imam Tariq.
I'm spacing out on his name right now. Abu Nafis. Sheikh
Yes,
Mohammed,
yes.
Sheikh Mohammed.
Another legend. What was his name?
I got
Brother Fred. His Muslim name. Right, but in the Nation, I think he was Brother Fred. You talking about Nafis's father?
Yeah. Shaka. It was a Shaka.
Another legend. He was
I got a cold-blooded Brother Elijah story.
Go ahead.
We worked together at the Y. Brother Elijah worked at the front desk. This young man always being disrespectful. Brother Elijah behind the counter. Brother Elijah came to the conclusion the only thing this brother needs is a punch in his face, man. Brother Elijah was, man, his fist, bro. His fist is like, man,
Big.
You got one of them Hajj fists?
Man, it's like a Chechen pot pie, man. I think it's like
And he was big and tall.
Yeah.
Too, man.
Brother Elijah came to the conclusion the only thing that's going to help this brother is to get punched right in his mouth in the non-profit organization front desk. Brother Elijah just punched him right in the mouth to teach him some respect, man, and it worked.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And he had that kind of respect that they knew, man, this came from like your uncle, man.
Yo, that Homewood Y was powerful, man. Even some of the young people that passed away, Big D used to always be in there. I think he was shot and killed doing security at the club. Shout out to Brother Jabril.
Brother Jabril, yeah. Wiz Khalifa's grandfather.
Wiz Khalifa's grandfather, man. Sister Diane, his wife.
Sister Sakina.
Sister Sakina, right? Yeah.
Inshura.
Sister Inshura. Sister Olivia.
OJ.
Yeah.
OJ,
Yep,
man. She
yep.
passed away, man.
Yep. Sister Cassandra always used to show love. May Allah be pleased with the life of Sister Diane's son, who was Wiz's uncle,
Okay.
who was shot and killed.
Yes, in the waterfront.
Mon P, I think they called him. Brother Amani, I think his
yeah,
name
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Yep. You know, just
Brother Jamil.
may Allah be pleased,
Brother
man.
Jamil,
Man.
He's
Brother
lit,
Jamil, man. Like a pillar. When you talked about them, how East Liberty was, that little vending district right here. Even I remember I met Akil. He was the original bootleg. Remember he used to have bootleg VHSs, man.
Really?
Yes, bro.
Right on. What's that? Pen?
Right on Penn, man. Penn Circle. You know, but may Allah be pleased with the life of Brother Jamil. A legend. You know, we still got to get his family on here, and I want to interview them about their legacy, man. And you look at, they was the final frontier that stood up against gentrification, and they still are there. You know, and
Go visit Jamil's
Global Village. Yeah,
Global Village right on Penn Ave.
Yep. Go get you some
East
shea butter,
Liberty.
some black seed,
Get a
some
book.
oils, a book.
Amazing
You know,
fabrics.
a Black Lives Matter T-shirt, something,
Straight
man.
up.
But go support that brother, man, and his family. You know, legends, man. Yep.
Straight up. Okay.
You know, of course, so important to honor, you know, the people who went before and laid the groundwork. But I want to thank the two of you for what you're doing.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Because the race ain't finished until that baton passes.
That's right.
And there's always another one until
That's right.
the last day. So, you know, thank you guys for taking that baton, bringing it out here to the streets, keeping the interest, you know, inspiring people to consider some things.
Yep.
And, you know, just keeping the ball rolling.
Yep.
This is extremely important what you're doing. You're utilizing, you know, the latest and greatest in technology to reach the people.
Yep.
So thank you.
Thank you, brother. I got to shout out, you know, I used to always see you with Lukman, man. And he's another brother that, you know, just a long
Assalamu alaikum.
time,
What up,
man. A
Lukman?
long time. Shout out to brother Rashad Birdsong. You know what I'm saying? And you can't shout him out without shouting out Sister Margie. You know, a true queen. Just so many people, man. That shout out to Lee Davis. Shout out to Knowledge and
Big
Majestic.
Lee.
You know what I'm saying?
Imam Hamed from Mashinur.
Imam Hamed. Oh, man.
Khalid,
Brother Khalid Rahim,
Yeah, Brother Khalid
another
Rahim,
legends, man. And these is people that's been in the trenches for a long time. And shout out to, I was just telling even Brother Majestic's wife, Sister Medina, you know what I'm saying? And you know, these is people that when we used to run around in the community, you know, people that we will always see at whatever function or, you know, wherever it was some work that needed to be done, man. It's a blessing, man. You know?
Shout out to my man Abdul Ali. We miss you, bro. Salam alaikum.
Duwali, Jasiri, Farouk, so many good people.
Shout, yeah. Shout out, brother Jasiri, man. That's my guy. You know, people like you know, one hood, like that's my family, man. Shout out to Cornell Jones.
Oh yeah, Reverend Cornell.
Yeah. Shout out to Reverend Blackwell. Used to be out in the trench down in Homewood. We interviewed Sister Free Blackwell, his wife.
Shout out our man Leon.
Shout out
Peace,
Leon
bro. Peace,
Ford, man.
Respect,
Legend, man. Beautiful brother, man. You know, we got to get him on. So, you know, this is just Pittsburgh Love Fest, the history, man.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
I called Khalid Rahim probably about a month ago to invite him to take place in the community meeting we're having regarding this new mosque. And when I talked to him, I said, "You know what we're trying to do, right?" And he said, "No, I know a little bit. I don't know the details. Where's this going to be?" I told him location. And he said, "You know the history of that location?" I said, "No." He said, him and a whole bunch of the names you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Who's I can't remember all. I do remember him mentioning Imam Tar. Their intention back then, this is in the 90s, was to purchase the same plot of land and to build the mosque. And for whatever reason, it didn't work out. And so they went their separate ways. Now, 30 years later, we come along. Inshallah,
Talking about that
The
baton.
question that we have, not the question, but the possibility. It was their intention.
Wow.
We were talking earlier about planting seeds, right? Their intention was the seed that was planted, and Allah watered it by the blessings of this sister, this Anissa Kambor, and inshallah we're going to grow it in that same plot. So.
And them brothers gonna get the reward.
Please keep me abreast of, like, you know, and I want the nation involved, man. I want to get Minister Victor over there, and just, you know, like, we got to close ranks on the Ummah. That's another thing that we see in this social unrest. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we got to lace our boots up and be unified. You know what I'm saying? Because our unity is power, bro.
Let me say something about Pittsburgh. I'm not from Pittsburgh. I moved here my people are from Oakland, California. And when I came here the first time, that's when I first met Humza as well. It was 2001. My first time was out in Mosque Movement. That's where we were gathering together.
Yeah.
But I noticed a quality about this city. And then that was my first visit. And then I was coming once a year, sometimes twice a year. And I noticed the thing about this city is that we recognize that we have differences, but we continue to work together.
Yeah.
Our differences are honored, but they don't become dividing points to where
That's right.
we turn our backs on
That's
one another.
right.
It's a unique quality of Pittsburgh.
That's
when you
right.
look at the whole city.
Yeah.
And even when the shooting took place in the synagogue.
Right.
Now, Pittsburgh set an example for the whole nation on how our interfaith groups came together,
Right.
how the city came together, and so the potential here is really immense.
And I'm gonna say, I cut you off, bro.
No, I just saw that though. Just to add on, I just saw that it was on the CNN show called United Shades with W. Kamau Bell. They did a
Right.
feature on Pittsburgh, and they
Yeah,
had brother Wasi Muhammad on there. With
Shout
the,
out to Wasi.
Yeah,
Yep, yep.
But they had him. Yeah, Assalamu alaikum, bro.
Wazi's extraordinary.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
had
he's
him on there with
beautiful
the rabbi from the.
He was there that night, wasn't he? Yeah, he was there. He came through to the dinner. Yeah, your brother Wazzy was there. Yep. But I'm gonna say something like along the lines of what we just said. Like, all of them names we mentioned, like, them people, you know, I'm gonna include myself like a little pebble in that. We made this city hip. You know what I'm saying? So all these people coming in here like getting on the gentrification bandwagon, like it's y'all are standing on a great foundation, and they need to respect that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because and it's significant that all of us are from, you know, places that people consider hip. Oakland, you talk about Boston. I'm from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Pittsburgh is like that place to be now, but they need to put some respect on the foundation that was here before them, man. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta make sure of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know, I don't plan on going nowhere. You know.
I seen some brother running his mouth about Pittsburgh the other day. I'm like, man, bounce them, man. You know
Facts.
you know what I'm saying? We
Facts.
loyal here, man.
Big
you know what I'm
facts.
saying?
Straight
After
up.
a while, man, you become loyal.
I still ain't a Steelers fan, but it's cool though.
I mean, I'm a Giants fan.
Okay,
man, you know what I'm
okay.
saying? I got love for the Steelers, though. How can you not?
That's true.
It
That's true.
affects the morale of the people.
That's a fact, bro. That's a
You
fact.
gotta love-
And you
gotta
gotta
love-
and you gotta
black
respect
and
that
gold.
hard hat mentality, man. Like that next man up mentality.
Hamza,
man.
you still moving them dicker beads?
It's more behind the scenes.
Okay,
you know what I'm
okay,
saying?
okay,
If
okay,
somebody wants something,
Okay, okay, all right.
Yeah, anybody
It's not. It's a special request only.
Yeah,
like,
if somebody
okay.
can get in contact with me, we can talk.
All right.
any social media, brother Hamza, or
Nah,
you follow you low?
Yeah,
Okay,
I haven't posted that
brother-
since 2000.
brother
All
Haji,
that us,
what's the name
we
of the
got messenger
masjid?
pigeons.
The masjid is named, it's a combination. Masjid Anisa,
Okay,
named after it's named Masjid Anisa,
okay,
after the woman who is funding the project.
okay.
But it's also in collaboration with the Jamaat of Sheikh Uthman Danfodio.
If people want to support, how can they support?
Right now, the only way is
Hold on,
really
we
to
gonna
reach
wait till
out
this
to
bus.
me.
We gonna wait till this bus go by. This is an essential plug, right?
Give the PayPal for that.
Yeah.
Really, the only there's
Yeah. Give us the link. We'll put it in.
yeah. PayPal is really the only way, or they can, and you can reach out to me
Okay.
through email,
Okay.
and then I can make it more personal after that. I don't want to throw my stuff out there.
Yeah.
And then because we're happy the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam
Peace
encouraged
be
the
upon him.
spending, even if it was something very small, and something for like the development of a masjid, even if it's just everybody should share in the barakah that emanates from that. So, and we will, she's paying for the building, mashallah. May Allah increase her and
Right.
flood her grave with nur. But we will still need support for the furnishings and for the accents and stuff.
Yeah.
And not only that, the most important support is dua.
Right.
Everybody, please make dua for us.
Amen.
And but we'll make sure you have the information.
Yeah, and we're gonna sign off. Hey, I feel like we're in a good place. EPND podcast at gmail.com. We muse. Sometimes we ramble, but most of all, we tell extraordinary stories. And if you have an extraordinary story or know somebody whose story needs to be told, please reach out, epndpodcast at gmail.com. We on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, EPND Podcast.
Pocket Cast.
Blow us up. We getting that Patreon set up. So if you want to be a continued supporter, black journalism matters.
Word
You know what I'm
up,
saying?
your feedback matters, man. Connect with
Please.
us, build with us. We really
Please.
not doing this just for views, man. We want to build a network. We want to build a community and support people. out there.
That's a fact. So we thankful, and with that, we're gonna sign off. Peace.